Brisbane's most delayed mega project may decide the city's Olympic future. Beneath Brisbane, a $17 billion gamble is unfolding. Engineers have carved 10.2 kilometers of new rail, including 5.9 kilometers of twin tunnels under the city and the Brisbane River. Two colossal tunnel boring machines, each the length of a soccer field, dug through rock 47 meters deep, removing enough soil to fill more than 120 Olympic swimming pools. The project promises 4 new underground stations, a world-class signaling system, and the capacity to run 24 trains every hour in both directions. But instead of smooth progress, it has become one of Australia's most troubled builds. So is Brisbane's most delayed mega project really going to be ready for the 2032 Games? Look at a map of Brisbane's rail lines and one problem jumps out right away. For decades, there was a fatal flaw. Almost every train from the south had to squeeze over a single bridge across the river, the Merivale Bridge. 2 tracks, 1 pinch point. So what happened when there was a delay? The whole network felt it. Trains stacked up, timetables cracked. By the mid-2020s, forecasts warned of standing room only in peak hours. Adding services? Almost impossible. The city was running out of room to breathe. That's where Cross River Rail comes in. Its mission is simple. Attack the choke point. By adding a second inner-city river crossing, trains can finally run on their own paths. But how do you make sure the system stays reliable? The answer is sectors. The network will be split into 3. Sector 1 will send Sunshine Coast, Caboolture, and Redcliffe trains through the new tunnels to the Gold Coast and Binley. Sectors 2 and 3 will keep using the old bridge and surface lines. If trouble hits one sector, the others keep moving. And that's the promise. More trains, more often, with fewer network-wide meltdowns. Why the rush now? Brisbane has never hosted the Summer Games before. In 2032, the city will step onto the world stage. Stadiums will roar, the river will shine. But what good is all of that if people can't reach the events in time? The rail core has to hold everything together. And this is why the project isn't just a tunnel, it's a full city upgrade. It brings 4 new underground stations: Bago Road, Woolloongabba, Albert Street, and Roma Street. On top of that, the exhibition station is getting a major lift, while 7 suburban stations between Dutton Park and Salisbury are being rebuilt. 3 new Gold Coast stations are on the way too, along with new stabling yards to keep trains ready for action. But here's the real secret behind the scenes: a new digital brain to run it all. That brain is called the European Train Control System, or ETCS. What does it do? It lets trains and control rooms talk to each other nonstop. The system always knows where the train is. This means trains can run closer together, move faster, and stay safer. And the numbers? Once it's fully in place, the tunnels will carry up to 24 trains every single hour in each direction. That's not just an upgrade, it's a whole new level of capacity. This is why Brisbane is digging, not for show, for system strength, for a second river path, for sectors that isolate faults, for signals that let more trains run closer together. The goal is easy to say, but tough to build. Unlock the rail core of Southeast Queensland. But here's the real question. How do you cut a railway under skyscrapers and a river without breaking the city above? Let's head to the worksite and find out. Picture 2 enormous tunnel boring machines. Each one was like a rolling factory. At the front, a 7.2-meter cutter head with 39 discs chewed through rock harder than concrete. Behind it, conveyor belts carried out the spoil. Further back, a ring builder lifted curved concrete pieces into place, creating a waterproof wall as the machine pushed forward. Crews lived inside this steel giant surrounded by dust, noise, and humming motors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the ground was not easy. Brisbane's earth is a wild mix. One layer held hard quartz-rich sandstone. The next was full of cracks and soft clay. How do you dig through such shifting ground? In the toughest rock, crews use small blasts to break the faces for the TBMs. In the weaker spots, they drilled rock bolts and sprayed quick-setting concrete to hold the arch in place. Then came the biggest test. Near Roma Street, the machines hit a fault zone about 20 meters wide. It was a dangerous gap. How do you keep the tunnel safe when the ground wants to fall in? Teams had to move with great care. Step by step, they opened a 280-meter chamber under the city. Every move was planned, every cut measured to keep the caverns stable. This was not just about digging tunnels. It was about holding the city above in place while carving out a new future below. And all of this hard work leads to the big question: can it be ready for the 2032 games? Roadheaders took on the tough job of shaping the caverns and cross passages. But how deep did they have to go? At Albert Street, the team dug Brisbane's deepest hole, about 50 meters down, to make room for the station box and access tunnels. The platforms there sit around 31 meters below the street, inside a cavern that stretches nearly 2 city blocks long. Woolloongabba brought a different challenge. How do you build upward in such a tight space? The answer was the jump form method, pouring one level on top of the last until the station box was complete. This site is special because it sits right under the Gabba, linking the new rail line directly to a major sports hub. Boggo Road was a whole new puzzle. It's the shallowest of the stations, tucked right under active busways and rail lines. Stopping traffic above was not an option. So how did they keep things moving? Engineers came up with a clever plan. They drilled 19 long steel pipes across the ground, filled them with concrete, and created a strong protective arch. Only then could they dig out the 24-meter-wide cavern below, while the city above carried on as usual. The portals at the north and south were built using a method called cut and cover. But what does that mean? Crews first put in rows of piles and poured capping beams. Then they dug out the boxes and decked over the top. This created the entry and exit mouths of the tunnels. The digging may have finished earlier, but the work didn't stop there. What comes next after a tunnel is carved? The answer is the fit-out and integration. Inside the twin tunnels, crews laid down the tracks. They added power lines, ventilation, fire systems, and even rolled out the new ETCS system across the wider network. Now comes the controversy. At first, the budget was set at $5.4 billion, with an opening planned around 2024 to 2026. But has that number stayed the same? Not even close. Today, public statements and political briefings point to a price tag of more than $17 billion. Why so high? Because this includes not just the tunnels, but the integration works, new trains, stabling yards, system rollout, and even the costs of running and maintaining the line. And the problems don't end with money. Workdays have been lost because of industrial action. Contractors and officials are caught up in claims and tough negotiations. Even the testing phase is no small step. National safety certification takes time, and until that happens, no passengers can board. So when will the first trains run? Some official timelines now point to 2029. That's years later than first promised. The question is, will Brisbane's biggest rail project be ready before the world arrives in 2032? Will this be ready for Brisbane 2032? That's the big question. Work at the stations is far along, with glass, cladding, and systems being put in place. But the network-wide ETCS rollout, the sector reorganization, and the full commissioning still stand as the tall hurdles. And if those slip, the new tunnels won't be able to carry passengers. Other Olympic host cities have faced the same struggle. What happens then? Costs climb, timelines move, and the stakes keep getting higher. So, what if the deadline meets the opening ceremony head-on? The answer matters for the city, the games, and the world watching. Let's weigh the outcome. When the clock strikes 2032, Brisbane won't just be hosting the Olympics. It will be proving whether a $17 billion gamble paid off. If the tunnels open on time, it could be the city's proudest achievement. But if delays drag on, it may become its biggest embarrassment. What do you think? Will Cross River Rail be ready? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this.